Yo, it's Bradley J, and we are live on Ignore the Machine. Today we're going to revisit friendship. I had an epiphany about friendship, and I'm going to share it with you, and it's going to improve your life. Not too long ago, I was talking to a friend, and after speaking with that friend for, an afternoon, I realized that person never asked me about how I felt about anything. I was asking about this. I was asking about that. This person did not reciprocate. And I realized that's the case quite a bit. And I also realized that that is an empty experience, and that person really isn't what I would qualify as a friend. Not according to my definition. We all have our own definitions. And part of my definition is someone that cares and will ask about how you feel about things, what your opinion is about this or that, or what you did and what you thought about what you did, etc. Instead of it being like an interview. A lot of times, me hanging out with people that I consider some degree of friends really is just a series of questions where I ask them about them and there's nothing in return. And I'm done with that. I'm glad I noticed it. It's like, really? Wow. And I noticed that that's a pretty common thing. So if you notice that I'm not hanging around with you anymore, chances are that's why. I mean, maybe it's something else. Maybe it's just like time and distance or something. But it may be that I realized that it's not a two-way street. It's a one-way street. That's boring. I used to be a talk show host for a living. I did it for, interviewing people for money. I'm just not going to sit there on some sort of road trip or something and ask you about you endlessly. It's a pretty hollow experience. Now, the pandemic was something that made me think about friendship. Of course, the pandemic really was like firing all your friends and giving them the opportunity to earn their way back. I mean, I got used to not being with a lot of people I used to be with, and found I didn't mind it so much. I didn't miss anything. I guess that some of these folks just weren't contributing. It's got to be a two-way street, and here's the other thing. I need to learn from somebody. I don't want to spend time with somebody I'm not learning from. So there's that. Maybe I'm demanding. You have to care about what I think about stuff and ask me at least 50% of the time my view, and I kind of have to learn stuff from you. That's what makes it worthwhile for me. So I will have far fewer friends, and I will carefully look for other folks that I can learn from and seem to actually care about what I think about things. It's pretty simple. Let me say one more thing about socialization. Now, it's pretty easy to become non-social, really. It happened in the pandemic. It's not all that bad, and I became a lot less social. I thought, or so I thought, but it's not true. And I know that they say, and there are studies that say, that you are both mentally and physically healthier if you socialize more. But what does socialize mean? Does it mean hanging around with hollow friends? I don't think so. I think that socialization can be the following. Here's an example of socialization that requires no friends. I walk, I go in stores, I interact with people on the street. If I go in a store, I'll interact with the owner or the person that works there. If there's a homeless person, I'll give them some money and interact a little bit. I'm outgoing and proactive on the street. If somebody doesn't want to talk to me, maybe some young person who doesn't like boomers, maybe it's a woman who is not comfortable speaking with men, whatever, I move on. But if somebody seems open to a quick conversation, I will socialize. And I have a feeling that counts as far as the socialization that makes you healthier both mentally and physically. What makes me think that is that I feel better when I do it. So that's it. Again, if you used to think of me as a friend and I don't reach out anymore, it's probably because I realized hanging out with you is more like me filling space, asking you about you, and getting not so much in return. And I also, by the way, I remember and can tell you who does ask me a few things about me and what I think. Because I don't want to share, I don't want to tell you stories about me unless I'm asked. No one wants to just hear someone blather the story without being asked, I think. So if we meet up and you want to be friends, every once in a while ask me about me, because I'll be asking you about you a lot. That's it. Oh, actually, I was going to give you some relationship advice, but no, I should just end there. Maybe you can apply this to yourself and save yourself a lot of stupid, wasted time hanging around with people that you used to hang around with just through inertia and habit, and a lot of money as well from going and doing stuff. Hey, you want to do this? You want to do that? You don't need to do that. Not unless it's truly rewarding. Take a look at the relationship, find out what you get from it, and make sure that it's a 50-50 thing. That's it. I will talk to you soon. Oh, and another thing to make you feel better about life, stop getting your news from the internet, because the algorithm is designed to freak you out and feed you the most horrific crap that's out there in the most horrific way. Stop getting your news from the internet. I don't want to give you too much at once. Bye now.